श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्। ஷீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
கவிதார்க்கிகேசரி வேதாந்தாச்சார்யவர்யோ மே சந்நிதத்தாம் சதா ஹ்ருதி. ராமானுஜதயா பாத்ரம் ஞான வைராக்யபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத் வெங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்த தேசிகம். சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் போரொன்றுதானே அமையாதோ தாரணி வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேர போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
A few minor ragasyas of Sri Vedanta Deshika. So we are taking up a new chapter today, new book today. Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha. The explanation is also in 74, page 74 to 94 in Ragasya Vivaranam. So Tattva Matrika, the word Matrikai in Tamil is from Matrika in Sanskrit. Mata, you know, mother. So Matrika is model English. Example, illustration. So illustration of the principle, Tat Tvam. Tat the Paramatma, Tvam the Jivatma, you. So Tat Tvam, so that becomes Tattvam. In Sanskrit, we have two T's in between Ta and Va. Ta it va, Tattva. Tattvam we say. Tattvamasi is a Mahavakyam, as all of us know from the Upanishads. And Tat, Lord Sriman Narayana, is the Tvam, you, the individual soul. Meaning, the individual soul can almost become the Supreme Soul in most of the respects. So let us all be careful in wording so that we will not become one with each other. Whereas Advaita, the philosophy of monism, that is non-dualism, will recommend that both of us are one and the same, equal in all respects. Tat Tvam Asi. Tvam Asi, you are. Asi means are, A-R-E. Tvam Asi, you are. Tat, you are that. Thou art that is the translation into poetic way. So here, another meaning of this Matrika is, so what is the basis for our understanding the language, especially Sanskrit? So we have A, I, E, vowels 13 in number. And sometimes we say 14 also. We have the long vowel of the letter L. So we say L. And then we have 33 consonants. உயிரெழுத்து 13 அல்லது 14, மெய்யெழுத்துக்கள் 33. But the 33 consonants are added with one more conjunct consonant letter cha, according to some statements. But this is only a combination of consonants like ik, ish, and one vowel also. So it's a vowel come consonant, cha. But when we have some names, akaradi, chakaranta, in order to say that all the letters are included, that's all. The all-inclusive vocabulary, rather the letters. The Varnamala we say, otherwise say alphabets. All the alphabets, that's the meaning of the word Matrika. So வடமொழியில் முன்னுரை வடமொழியில் ஆ முதல் சா வரையில் உள்ள 51 எழுத்துக்களுக்கு it takes as 18 vowels. I don't know how, but there are 18 consonants in Tamil. So 33 consonants in Sanskrit. It calculates 551. We must find out why it is 51. How can we calculate 51 letters? So it's called the Matrika. Matrika is basis here, not as model as I said. So Tattvangale Velakkum in the Ragasyam. So this minor secret work of Sri Vedanta Deshika explains to us the principles, Tattvangale in plural. So it gives us many principles. 51 வாக்கியங்கள் கொண்டுள்ளமை பற்றி, because it has got 51 sentences, தத்துவ மாத்திரிகை என பெயர் கொண்டதென பெரியோர் கூறுவர். Great people, scholars say that this particular book, Tattva Matrika, contains 51 sentences, and therefore it's called Tattva Matrika. And in this Tattva Matrika, we have in brief all the 51 principles mentioned. Vishayak Churukam, the précis of the matter, the abridgment of the matter. இந்த ரகசியத்தில், in this secret, ஸ்ரீ தேசிகன் அருளிய 51 விஷயங்களுக்கும் விளக்கம் தரப்படுகிறது. So 51 matters are dealt with here. 51 points are given explanation. தத்துவங்கள் எல்லாம் தகவால் அறிவித்து முத்தி வழி தந்தார் மொய்கழலே அத்திவத்தில் ஆரமுதம் மாறாம் இரு நிலத்தில் என்று உரைத்தார் தாரமுதல் ஓதுவித்தார் தாம். It's a rather difficult Tamil style that many of us would not decipher very easily, whereas unless with explanation from the commentaries. Now, number 1 will be given the meaning in the footnote. So let us look at the footnote. In Sanskrit, just like in Sanskrit, Tamil verses also are given meaning with a new what we call prose order, so that we can easily understand. It's called Anvayaha in Sanskrit. So Anvayaha is prose order. By prose order, we can understand the poetic language. So Taram Mudal. Taram, the word Taram is from Sanskrit only. Tarati, Tarati iti Taram. Now, since Ramanujacharya wanted to instruct all people without any distinction of caste, creed, religion, etc., it is said, sometimes it is not accepted, that the episode, namely, Ramanujacharya went on the tower of Tirukoshtiyur temple. Saumyanarayana is the name of the presiding deity there. And he promised all the people of the town that he will give the meaning of the Ashtakshara mantra. Especially the first syllable, what we call pranavaha, that will be given meaning by him to all people. Actually, Ramanujacharya went 18 times to learn. So only on the 18th time, visit Tirukottiyur Nambi gave him the esoteric inner meaning of the 8 syllable spell. And he also made a condition that this should not be revealed to anyone who doesn't ask for it. The same case with, Lord Krishna's statement to Arjuna in the Bhagavad-Gita. Lord Krishna said, I gave a lot of pieces of advice in Bhagavad-Gita, as all of us know, in at least 17 chapters. From the second chapter onwards, it was advice. But when Lord Krishna completes the chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, in the 18th chapter, he said very sternly to Arjuna that only if someone asks you to give the advice, what I have given you, then you can distribute or you can convey, you can teach others. Not when you are not asked. So that is there in the Bhagavad Gita. So here, in spite of the teacher's instructions, Ramanujacharya wanted to give the inner meaning of the 8 syllable spell, especially starting with the first syllable called Pranavam, which is also be and all and be and end all of all the scriptures. With a single syllable, which contains 3 vowels, a, I, U. Sorry, a, U, im. Im also there, consonant is there. A, U, im. So 2 vowels and 1 consonant. So these 3 constitute the Pranava syllable. And this Pranava syllable can be given elaborate meanings so that it covers the entire scriptures. The meaning of the word taram. So taraha is what we call redeeming spell, which will take us to emancipation, cancelling the cycle of birth and death for us. It will make us cross the ocean of life. It will help us to jump over the, what we call the life ocean. So, tarati is swimming. Tarati, you can say crossing. So, tarayati will be making us cross, making us overtake or overcome. The life difficulties will be overcome by us, by this spell. The particular word is, particular easiness of this spell is the single syllable, Pranava. So Pranava Mudalakshara Konda, Pranavati Mudalakshara Konda. So the word Taram Mudal is in the last line of the verse. Taram Mudal Oduvittar Tam. Taram Mudal is Pranavati Mudalakshara Konda, having Pranava as the first syllable. Tirumandiram Mudaliya. So Taram Mudal. So the first one is 8 syllable the spell. The second is the 2 sentence spell, Dvayamantraha. And thirdly, Charama Shlokaha. So Bhagavad-Gita verse from 18th chapter. Sarvadharman Parityaja. So these 3 secrets will be taught to the disciples by the preceptor. So Ragasyangli Odavittartha Upadeshita Acharyarha. So there are many preceptors today and in those days also to teach us all the 3 secrets. These preceptors, what will they do? Tattvangalella, we go to the first line of the verse, Tamil verse. Tattvangalella தத்துவங்களின் சொரூபத்தை முழுவதும், that means the true nature, the original nature, the innate quality of all the principles, தத்துவங்களின் சொரூபத்தை முழுவதும் தகவால் அறிவித்து, தம்மிடம் உள்ள கிருபையினால் உபதேசித்து. தகவு we say கிருபா, sympathy, daya, karuna, so that is called tahavu. So tahaval arivittu, that means instructs the disciples, the teacher instructs the disciples by his pity, sympathy over the devotees, over the disciples, and then தம்மிடம் உள்ள கிருபையினால் உபதேசித்து முத்தி வழி தந்தார். So they showed the way to the salvation. Mutti vazhi tandar. They gave the upaya for the moksha. Mokshattin upayathai upadeshitha acharyagaludaya. So we have got immediate preceptor, like our family guru, the titular preceptor. So for every one of our families, we have the preceptor. So the preceptor will give us the way, show us the way to the emancipation, beatitude. And then, so what do we do? Moi Kadale is the divine feet of the preceptor. One second. So Valiya Tiruvadigalai. So Moi Kadale meaning strong divine feet. In the sense, they are capable of giving us the right advice. Attivatil, Anda Paramapadatil. Now look at the words in Sanskrit, Tamil, which are almost from Sanskrit. Divam. Divam is sky. Diva is by day. Divam is space. Here we refer to Paramapadam, Vaikuntham. So At-Divatil means that sky. Sky in the sense, the topmost world, namely best world, Paramapadatil. So Amudamam, Amudam, Aram. Amudam, the nectar, Amudam, the most sweet nectar, full of, so Paramapadam is full of nectar. Nectar occupies the entire world, Paramapadam, Vaikuntham. Vaikuntham is full of sweetness. So Nerainda Amudamahum, Irunilatil meaning both in the Vaikuntham and the earth. Ahandra Bhumiyal, Irunilatil. Iru also means broad universe. So in the expanse of the universe. Ahandra Bhumiyal, Aru Am. Aramudam, Aru Am becomes Aramudam, Aram. Aru Am meaning Upayamum Ahum Endru Uraittar. The word Aru in Tamil is almost like a river. The river goes in its own direction. The water flows, of course, to a lower level. So the Aru is also in Tamil direction. So according to the flow of the water in the river, as it flows, the water flows, the teacher also, the preceptor also will give us the direction. That means he gives us the strategy to follow. So he gives us the process by which we go. So Upayamahum Endru Uraittar Endru Upadeshitanar. Oduvittartham. Oduvittartham is the preceptors advised. The preceptors advise us to understand what is the upaya, what are the means to attain moksha. That means we will have no suffering later. We will cross over the ocean of life easily. Now, so what is the end result of the preceptors' advice to us on the means of reaching salvation? Sadacharya upadeshattale, Sadacharya upadeshattale. By the advice of the good preceptor, Shariraka Mula Mantradigalai Kondu. Shariraka is referring to the scriptures. Shariram is body. The Shariram body here, it is the divine body of the Lord. So Shariraka Shastram means scripture. Shariraka Mula Mantradigalai Kondu. With the help of the scriptural sentences and the Mula Mantra is 8-syllable the spell, along with the Pranava Namo Narayanaya. Mula Mantradigalai Kondu. Satvikarukku Ariya Vendum Tattvam. There is a necessity of the people who are taught also. The teacher and the taught must be qualified. The teacher is a good teacher, as certified by the word Sadacharya. Good teacher, Sadacharya. If you want to know who is a good teacher, a good teacher is, we have to study Vedanta Deshika's Nyasa Vimshati first shloka. There are 14 qualities expected of a good teacher. I don't think that no teacher will possess all the 14 qualities. I can give you the Nyasa Vimshati later, first shloka. So Sadacharya Upadeshattale, the teacher must be a qualified teacher to teach. And then the disciple should be a qualified disciple to receive the teaching, instructions. So you have here, first Vedanta Shastram is Sharirakam. So Sharirakam, as I meant to you, as scriptures. So among the scriptures, what do you study? We are not much interested in the Karma Kanda of the first 3 parts of scriptures, namely Samhita, Brahmanam and Aranyakam. These 3 elaborate the procedures for sacrifices, and they are called Karma Kanda. In order to follow the discipline of action, we have to study all these 3 parts of the scriptures. The last part of the scriptures is called Jnana Kandam. So it contains what we call Upanishads, and it is about 112 to 118. So 112 were available, and now 118 are available. So all the Upanishads must be studied by us in order to get some wisdom. So Sharirakam refers to Vedanta Shastram, meaning that means all the Upanishads. Then B, namely Satvikarukku. So as a disciple, we all should possess only Sattva Guna, in spite of the presence of Rajas and Tamas as a human being. And our predominant quality should be Sattva. Sattva Guna should be more than the portion of Rajas and Tamas in us. And then C is Chirandadu. So he will tell us, the teacher will tell the disciples, Tattvam Param Endrum Avaram Endrum. There are 2 principles to be understood by the disciples, good disciples, qualified disciples, namely Param, the highest principle we must understand, and Avaram, the lower principle we must understand. So C, Shirandadu, the best principle is Lord, and avaram is the individual soul, D. So avaram is in quality, it is less. So rendu vagaiyaga irukku. So this is the first principle. Out of the 51 principles that Vedanta Deshika plans to give us in this small secret book, namely Tattva Matrika. So he uses the first verse to give us the first principle, namely, we will understand what is the highest and what is the lowest also through the Vedanta Shastras spells by the advice of the good preceptors, and we understand as we are good in quality. So we go to page 48. Now, second principle out of the 51. The 51 matters are dealt with here. The second one is Paratattva. So what is the highest principle? So Paratattvamanadu Ninainda Ella Purushatkum Vittai. So it is the base for, source for all the creations, all the objects, all inclusive. So Paratattvamanadu, the highest principle is, it is the seed for all the creations. And that is A, Moola Karanamai. So seed in the sense, just like a seed to a tree or a plant or a creeper, so from which it grows. So the seed may be looking small. So also Paratattvam may look small. Anoho Aniyan. Whether I can say it is less smaller than, it is smaller than an atom. Atom itself is not visible. So he is smaller than the atom itself. And then again in the second principle of 51, Sarva Vastukalilum Udan Mishai Uyerena Karandu. So this B refers to the Antaryami. So each individual soul, in fact, even non-sentient beings, that is non-living beings, they also have Lord as inner soul. Sarva Vastukalilam, in all objects, Udan Mishai Uyerana Karandu. So we are not talking about a small Angushta Matra Purushaha, as Vedavakya says, Angushta Matra Purushaha in our heart. Now we are talking about the pervading Lord in all the limbs of the human being or any other living being or any other object. So, Udan Mishai Uyerana Karandu. The strength of the individual soul is supplied by the Supreme Soul, and therefore we can say it gives life. Uyerana. Karandu in the sense, Maraindu, it says, it is invisible. We are not able to identify the Supreme Soul in us. And it is in every electron, neutron, neuron, and proton of the atoms of each cell of our body. So, Udan Mishai, it goes with, it stays with, and it is mingled with, it is one with the human body and soul. Generally, when we talk about our human body and soul, we don't distinguish much because of the word aham, non, I, the word I. We don't understand clearly whether the I refers to the individual soul or the body. We mix both and we confuse ourselves a lot. But here it's very clear that the Supreme Soul is mixed with the individual soul and it is present, available in all the cells of the human body. Now we are going to look at the meaning of a verse which begins with Nanda Velakke Alattar Kariyai. So that is the quotation number 1. And Yendrum Unarmulu Nalam Endrum Alappariya Aramudai. Alappariya Aramadai. So these 3 we are going to read in the footnotes. This is Periya Tirumazhi, 3rd decade, 8th division, number 1. This Periya Tirumazhi, Alvar says, Nanda Velakke Alattar Kariyai Nara Naranane Karuma Muhilpol Yandai Yamakke Arulayana Nindru Imayor Paravumidam Yetishayum Kandara Manden Ishaipada Made Kalivandu Miratra Nidal Tudaindu Mandara Nindru Manamalgu Nangur Manimada Koil Vanangan Manani. This is about one of the Tirunangur Divyadesham, and it also refers to the Kshetram Badarinath, where the Lord is in the form of Nara Narayana. Nara is Arjuna and Narayana is Lord Sriman Narayana. And both of them do meditation in Badrinath. But he is combining, Alvar is combining Manimada Koil, Tirunangur Manimada Koil. Manimada Koil is a particular type of construction of a temple where in those days there were a lot of population of elephants. The elephants will not be able to enter into the temple and disturb the human beings, devotees, or the God himself. So it's called the Manimada Koil. It's a special type of construction by the kings of Tamil Nadu, especially Chola kings. And Manimada Koil will have what we call steps in the beginning, and then you have flat surface, again a few steps, again a flat surface, and again steps. What the elephant cannot climb is, it will climb first a few steps, and then when it finds flat space, it gets confused. So it will not go further. That is what we understood from the construction called Manimada Koil. So of course, Mada is a very big area of space, and then Mani is of course the bell that is used, and the gems which are embedded in the pillars and in the walls of temple. Now, how is the Lord? The Periya Tirumazhi explains how Lord is the basic cause for everything. So here he says, Nanda Velakku. Nanda Velakku is meaning, if you have, I think, seen Nanda Velakku, the oil in the lamp called Nanda Velakku will be lasting long, and it will not get put out. If you once you light the Nanda Velakku lamp, Velakku is lamp, Nanda is a special type of lamp. I can show you at least tomorrow. So the Nanda Velakku will be giving us light for a long time. The wick will not get burnt quickly. The oil will be consumed slowly. And therefore, the comparison to the Lord is Nanda Velakku. Nanda Velakke is addressing, oh, the lamp called Nanda lamp. So Nanda, the word Nanda is from the first letter missed there, Ananda. So when you see light, the light will be giving us happiness. Light is happiness. Happiness is light. So Nanda Velakku, it will not get destroyed easily. Nasham illadadayum. So there is no end to the Lord. He has no beginningless. He has no beginning also. He is a beginningless and endless Lord. And therefore, destruction-free Lord is Narayana, and therefore Nashamillada Roy. Swayam Prakashamayam, it doesn't need any external source to be seen by us to brighten it. And therefore, we say in scriptures, Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandramaha. So even against the presence of Lord, even the sun will not be bright, nor the moon. So we have such a sentence in scriptures which say that there is no source of light to the Lord. The Lord himself is the source of light. So Swayam Prakashamayam, meaning self-effulgent. Lord is self-effulgent, self-bright. Desham Kavam Vastu Ivatral Alavida Mudiyadhu. And second address to the Lord by Periya Tirumazhi is Alattar Kadiyai. It is not possible to measure. It is impossible to measure. How? By space, desham, by column, by time, by vastu, by the shape of the object. So you can't contain him by time, control him by space and the shape of the object. So there are three things which are by which he is beyond them. He is beyond the space, beyond the time, and beyond the shape of the object. Soru Alavida Mudiyadumane, Sorupatayude Embermane. So he is addressing as Nara Naranami. So Abhiji, Karuma Muhilbol Endai. You look like a black cloud. You are a big cloud, you are a black cloud. Karu big black mom, big Muhilbol. Neela Meka Shamala Varnaha. Oh, Shivan Narayana, your complexion is like the water-laden cloud, which is dark. You can say grey-colored cloud is the color of the Lord. Yandai, you are my father, relative. Yeah, monsoon cloud. Kar Megha, we say in Sanskrit. Kala Megha, we say in Sanskrit. Kala Megha, the black cloud. So, Yandai, Yamake Arulayana Nindri. So, I wish you help me, you bless me. Yamake Arulayana Nindri. Yamake, it's a plural, therefore, let us seek blessings from you. This selfishness is always in the gods. Yamake Arulayana Nindri. Those who ask for boons for themselves are Imayor Paravamidam. Imayor, they don't wink their eyes. The eyelids will not move for them. Therefore, they are called Animeshaha. Animeshaha. Nimesha is winking. They are called Animeshaha. They are called in Tamil Imayor. They are gods. So what do? They go to the shore of the Milky Ocean and seek the blessings of Sriman Narayana when he is in the Vyuha Rupa, the form called Vyuha, where he reclines on the Adishesha, the serpent, the first servant, in the Milky Ocean. Therefore, they go to the shore and request. So how do they appreciate? How do they adore? Paravamidam. Paravam is adoring. Paravamidam, the place where they appreciate you, adore you, they say, Yamake Arula Yanani. They also call the Lord as father, mother, and so on. So, Yandai, Yamake Arula Yanani. they pray for themselves. Then Etchishayam Gandhara Manden Ishai Pada Made. Now, when Lord is there everywhere, in all directions, you have the flowers smell, beautiful flower smell. It's a spring season, and the honey is available in the flowers. And in order to drink the honey, the bees are hovering over the flowers. And these beetles, when they hover over the flowers for honey, they they make a sound. The sound is called the bee. Buzzing sound. It's a sweet sound. It's a sweet sound. They create a sweet sound. Kalivandu Mizhatra. Especially the flowers which are available in the Vaikuntham is Mandara flowers, yellow colored flowers. Now, this particular rich foliage, it is not Parijata, it is something else. It's a sweet smelling flower, yellow colored flower, and it has got a lot of honey there. And these flowers are blossoming in the holy place called Nangu, Tirunangu. So, Nidal Tudaindu, Mandaran Indru, Manamalhu, the Divya Kshetram Tirunangur is full of aroma, the sweet aroma from the flowers, as well as from the honey. The honey also gives a smell, and they attract a lot of bees. They are happy. It shows the happy situation surrounding of the holy kshetra. And Manimada Koil Vanangu Yen Manane. He says, we must visit Tirunangur Divya Kshetram, and we ask our heart to worship the Lord. Manimada Koil, go to the temple, and Vanangu, go and surrender to the Lord. Yen Manane, oh my mind. So this is, Yen Maname, now I shall read this. So, Alavida Mudiyazumana Swarupathayuடைய எம்பெருமானே, எங்களுக்கு அருள வேண்டும் என்று தேவர்கள் வந்து புகழும் இடமாகிய நாங்கூர் மணிமாடக் கோயிலை என் மனமே வணங்குவாயா. Especially the Divya Kshetras which have been sung by the 12 apostles of the Sri Vaishnava philosophy are considered the Divya Kshetras, Punya Kshetras, and all gods visit all those temples. PBA comment. Okay. So here, so he wants, the Alvar wants us to visit Tirunangur and worship. So we have the text, another song from Nammalvar, Thiruvaimozhi 112. And let us see the text Moolam in the same page. Let us see the top portion of the page. Unar Murunalam. Unar Murunalam, that is the word here given here in the text. That in order to understand what is Unar Murunalam, we go to Thiruvaimozhi 112. So, Manana Kamalamara Malar Mishay எழுதரும் மனன் உணர் வளவிலன் பொறி உணர் வவையிலன் இனன் உணர் முழுநலம் எதிர் நிகழ் கழிவினும் இன நிலன் என்ன எனனுயர் மிகுநரை இளனே. Now, en maname, Again, he is saying, he is addressing his own heart. Nammalvar addresses his own heart. Achetanatin verupattavanai. Pori unarvai avai ilan. I think I am not very familiar with this Tamil. Therefore, let me read the meaning of the Tamil in Tamil words, and then so I am not able to connect the words of Alvar to this meaning. Achetanatin verupattavanai. As human beings, we are different from the insentient objects. Prakriti sambandhamatra, yeah. One turn. So let us take it after reading this page. முக்காலத்தில் பிரகிருதி சம்பந்தமற்ற சேத்தனிலும் விலட்சணனாய். I am different from the insentient being, number one. I am different, extraordinarily different from all other individual souls which are connected with this matter of this world, namely, you can say Rajas and Tamas qualities are predominant. And then Mukkalathilum Tanni Vattavanum Membattavanum Irukkapperadhavanai. So we are talking about the Lord who is different from every creation, and there is nobody equal to him at any time, past, present, and future. And there is no one excelling him, there is no one surpassing him, there is no one equal to him. Paripurnamana Jnana Ananda Vadivanai. So he is full of wisdom, so Jnananandamayam. Paripurnamana. Complete wisdom is available with him, therefore he is omniscient. Yanakku antaryamiyai ulla emberumanuடைய, being the inner soul of my individual soul, emberumanuடைய திருவடிகளை, the divine feet, தொழுது உஜ்ஜீவிப்பாயாக. So let us all revive, that is, redeem ourselves by worshipping the divine feet of Lord Sriman Narayan. We will take up P.B. Anangaracharya Swami's translation of 112.
மனநகம் மனத்திலே இருக்கிற மலம் அற காமம் கோபம் முதலிய தீக்குணங்கள் கழிய அதனால் மலர்ந்ததாகி மிசை எழ தரும் மேலே மேலே விருத்தியடைகிற மனன் உணர்வு மானச ஞானம் என்கின்ற யோக உணர்ச்சியால் அளவிடப்படாதவனும் பொறி உணர்வு மெய் வாய் கண் மூக்கு செவி என்னும் வெளி இந்திரியங்களின் ஞானத்தினால் அளவிடப்படாதவனாய் இனன் இப்படிப்பட்டவனும் முழு உணர் நலம் பரிபூர்ண ஞானானந்த ஸ்வரூபியும் எதிர் நிகழ்கழிவினும் எதிர்காலம் நிகழ்காலம் இறந்த காலம் என்ற 3 காலங்களிலும் இவன் இளன் ஒப்பு இல்லாதவன் மிகுநர இளன் மேற்பட்டவரில்லாதவனுமாயிருப்பவன் என் உயிர் எனக்கு நல்ல ஆத்மா.
He cleanses the heart, makes it blossom and grow. He is beyond the ken of thought, feeling, and senses. He is pure consciousness, all goodness and eternal. He has no peer or superior. He is all our souls.
This is the point that Vedanta Deshika wants to drive into our mind about the second principle out of 51. So there are 3 quotations given by him. Now this is the second one, and we can go to the third one if you want further explanation. We can go through the Prativati Bhayankaram Anangaracharya Swami's translation in Tamil. In the text, in the Moolam text, original text of the page, this page, we will see the small first wording of this poem, namely, look at, yeah. Alappariya Varamudai. Alappariya Varamudai. So that is being explained by Tirunedundandagam 14. மூளைக்கதிரை குறுங்குடியுள் முகிலை மூவா மூவலகும் கடந்த பால் முதலாய் நின்ற அளப்பரிய வாரமுதை. The word அளப்பரிய வாரமுதை. அரங்கமேய அந்தணனை அந்தணர்தம் சிந்தையானை விளக்கொளியை மரகதத்தை திருத்தன்காவில் வெக்காவில் திருமாலை பாடக் கேட்டு வளர்ந்ததனால் பயன் பெற்றேன் வருகவென்று மடக்கிளியை கைகூப்பி வணங்கினாளே. So here you are finding that the Alvar is becoming a lady, and it's called Nayika Bhavaha. Nayika Bhavaha is the man imitating a lady's nature. When it was natural for Goda, Andal, that is Neela Devi, to be attached to the Lord, and he is the male and she is the female, it was very natural. But in the case of two Alvars here, Nammalvar and Tirumangi Alvar, who take up the Nayika Bhava forcibly by themselves and says this. So Parakala Nayaki, the lady, rather the queen or the heroine of called the Parakala, Akkiliyai Kaikoopi Vananginal. She saluted the parrot. The parrot was welcomed by the lady, the heroine. Now, these are the qualities adoring the Lord. Namely, Swarupam Tirumeni Gunam Ivattal Alavada Mudiyadavanum. So, Swarupam, the original nature. Now, here we have given a list in the previous minor Ragasyas of Vedanta Deshika. So, Apahata Papmatvam is one of the Swarupam. The sins do not get attached to, they don't cling to the Lord. The Anandatvam, always he is blissful. Amalatvam, he is always pure. Anantatvam, he is endless. He has what we call Srashtratvam, creative ability. He has Shiyapatitvam, the husbandhood of goddess Mahalakshmi, and so on. It is endless. Auspicious qualities are endless, and these are the special qualities. And the Tirumeni is what we call Vishwarupam, the entire physical figure of the Lord. So it contains all creations. It represents all creations. And it has got 5 weapons for sample. And according to Swami Vedanta Desika, he has got 16 weapons. So you have got a stotra called Shodasha Ayudha Stotra. Shodasha 16, Ayudham, arms, ARMS. So here, so that is Tirumeni. And again, starting from the foot to the head, or head to the foot, the beauty incarnate is Lord, Azhagiya Manavalan, as we call it in Tamil. So he is the most handsome male character. And then Gunam, it's not possible to explain every quality of the Lord because they are endless, infinite number. Okay. So we will just, after going through this paragraph, one more line, we will take up Swami's explanation. And how is the Lord? So as we cannot assess completely his original nature. As we cannot measure the beauty of his physical personality, because we will not be able to describe fully the endless number of qualities, auspicious qualities that he possesses. இவற்றால் அளவிட முடியாதவன். It is not possible to complete the assessment of the Lord. பரிபூர்ணமான அமுதம் போன்றவனுமான, he is all sweet by nature. So எம்பெருமானை பற்றி கிளி பாடுவதை கேட்டு the parrots in that particular Divya Kshetram Tirutanga is the Divya Kshetram. Vekhavil Tirumalai pada kettu. Tiruvekha is a holy Kshetra near Kanchipuram, and it is called Sonnavannam Seida Perumal Kshetram, Yathoktagari Kshetram, and subject to correction. A parrot was seen singing the Lord like this, and therefore the parrot was brought up by the lady, namely the lady who became lady, the Alvar who became lady, so Parakala Nayaki, so Akiliye Kaikupi Vananginal. She saluted the parrot, and she was happy that she brought up the parrot in the right way, and the parrot sang the praise of the Lord. Now, the point here, the second principle that we understand is here from these three quotations is, number one, he is beyond the measure, any measure. Lord is completely wise. Jnananandam. He is full of bliss. And therefore he is called nectar, rather sweeter than the nectar. We cannot experience we cannot explain the experience of the nectar, how sweet he is. And we must always adore him. These are some of the principles that we understand by the second part of the 51 principles called Matrika. Matrika, as you know, 51 letters of the alphabet, and therefore we are to avoid the influence of the sense organs in our body. In the previous verse we understand. Then we must feel that Lord is inside our heart as an inner soul, Antaryami. And the mind should be so set that it turns towards only the Lord, and it should be directed to the surrender at the divine feet of the Lord. So these are some points that we deduce from these three quotations, so that we will have a happy life. Again, please show me the first quotation of this in this page. Manam, Nanda Velaka. So we have to understand that he is destructionless. He is self-effulgent. He is not controlled by space, time, and object. And we must pray like the gods. Of course, the gods are so selfish, but we must always pray for the welfare of the world. And we must visit the Divya Kshetras in order to remind ourselves that the Lord is always all-pervading. We will also look at after quotation 3, Tirunedundandagam, and then we'll come back to again Periya Tirumazhi.
முளைக்கதிரை இளம் கதிரவனை போன்றவனும் குறுங்குடியுள் முகிலை திருக்குறுங்குடியில் காளமேகம் போல் விளங்குபவனும் மூவா மூ உலகம் கடந்து நித்தியமாய் மூவகைப்பட்டதான ஆத்ம வர்க்கத்துக்கும் அப்பால் பரமபத்திலே
பதத்திலே
பரமபத அப்பால் என்றால் பரமபதத்திலே முதலாய் நின்ற உபய விபூதிக்கும் முதல்வனாய் கொண்டு எழுந்து அருளியிருப்பவனும் அளப்பு அறிய சொரூப ரூப குணங்களில் அளவிடக் கூடாதவனும் அமுதை அருமையான அமிர்தம் போன்றவனும் அரங்கம் மேய அந்தணனை திருவரங்க மாநகரில் பொருந்திய பரம பரிசுத்தன் அந்தணர் தம் சிந்தையானை வைதிகர்களின் உள்ளத்தை இருப்பிடமாக உடையவனும் திருத்தன காவில் விளக்கு ஒளியை திருத்தன் காவில் விளக்கொளி பெரும் விளக்களி எம்பெருமானாய் சேவை சாதிப்பவனும் மரகத பச்சை போல் விரும்பத்தக்க வடிவு படைத்தவனும் வெக்காவில் திருமாலை திருவெக்காவில் கண் வளர்ந்து அருள்கிற திருமகள் குழுந்தனும் பாட கேட்டு சர்வஸ்வனை கிளிப்பாட அப்பாசுரங்களை கேட்டு மடக்கிளியை அழகிய அக்கிளியை நோக்கி வளர்த்ததனால் பயன் பெற்றேன் வருக என்று உன்னை வளர்த்ததனால் பிரயோஜனம் பெற்றேன் இங்கே என்று அழைத்து
இங்கே வா என்று அழைத்து
உன்னை வளர்த்ததனால் பிரயோஜனம் பெற்றேன் இங்கே வா என அழைத்து கைகூப்பி வணங்கினாள். அதற்கு ஒரு அஞ்சலியும் செய்து நமஸ்கரித்தாள்.
In this four kshetras, Divya Kshetras are mentioned.
She heard her parrot of her Lord thus: O rising sun, O laden cloud, O permanent one, O first one beyond the three worlds, O immeasurable, O ambrosia, O Lord of Arangam, O forever in the thoughts of pure Vedantins, O beacon of Tirutanka, O emerald of Veka, O Lord Tirumal, welcome, sir, my labors have been rewarded, she said, and saluted the frail creature with folded hands.
So indirectly, the parrot is our mind. So our mind should adore the Lord by going to many Divya Kshetras, Srirangam, Tirutanga, Tiruvekka and others. And so in that way, when we say that the Alvar saluted the parrot, it is the action that indicates that we must adore like a parrot, repeating the words. As the parrot repeats its words, we also should become parrots to repeat the adoration of the Lord. So these are all some principles that we understand in what we call Tattva, Matrika. What are the principles? So number one was there, and then second, we are now going through the two. So can we see the Periyatirumizhi 381?
நந்தா விளக்கே நித்தியமாய் ஸ்வயம் பிரகாசமான ஞானத்தை சுரூபமாக உடையோனே, ஆனந்தத்திற்கு ஆரியாய், ஆனந்திற்கு அரியாய், அளத்திற்கரியாய், அளவிட முடியாதவனே, நரநாரணனே, நாராயண அவதாரம் செய்தருளினவனே, கருமாமுகில் போல் எந்தாய், கருத்து பெருத்த மேகம் போன்ற எம்பெருமானே, எமக்கே அருளாய் என எங்களுக்கே அருள் செய்ய வேணும் என்று சொல்லி இமையோர் நின்று பரவும் இடம், தேவர்களின் நிலத்தில் வந்து நின்று துதி செய்யும் இடமானதும், அம்தேன் அழகிய தேன் ஜாதி வண்டுகள் எத்திசையும் எல்லா இடங்களிலும் கந்தாரம் இசை பாட தேவகாந்தாரி ராகம் பாடவும், களிவண்டு ஜாதியில் பிறந்த வண்டுகள் மாடே பக்கங்களில் மிழற்ற ஆலாபனை பண்ணியும், மந்தாரம் பாரிஜாத மரங்கள் நிழல் தர நெருக்கி நின்று மனம் மல்கும் பரிமளம் நிறைந்திருக்க பெற்றதுமான நாங்கூர் திருநாங்கூரில் உள்ள மணிமாடக் கோயில் என்னும் திருப்பதியை என் மனனே வணங்கு.
தேங்க்யூ.
Celestials stand and call, O Nanda Vilaku, lamp eternal, hard to fathom, Namo Narayana, dark cloud-hued Lord, grace us. He resided in Nangur, where the bees fill the 8 quarters with their Devagandhari raga, while the bumblebees follow their songs with shadow accompaniment. The mandara trees spread fragrance everywhere. Offer worship in Manimoda Koil, O heart.
What you said earlier is confirmed by Prativadi Bhangara Mandangaracharya Swami, as Mandara is a Parijata tree. But our intention is to have Parijata tree. Parijata is otherwise called Kalpa Vriksha, the wish-yielding tree. So the Mandara is generally called the flower tree, which is available in heaven, in both Swarga, Indra's place, and Vaikuntham. But we can equate to Parijata tree also, because we think that our wishes must be fulfilled, just like the gods. The gods are selfish, so as human beings we are also selfish, and therefore I find that Rajagopalan Swami's reading of this word meaning is relevant to himself, namely Devagandhari raga. I think he will be able to entertain us by singing the Taniyan in Devagandhari. I have not heard of Devagandhari often, and then I mean singing often, and I am not also not familiar with Devagandhari.
ராமானுஜதயாபாத்ரம் ஞான வைராக்யபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத் வெங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்த தேசிகம். கவிதார்க்கிக சிம்மாய கல்யாண குணசாலின ஸ்ரீமதே வெங்கடேசாய வேதாந்த குரவே நமः. பாதிஸ்மிவதிரோ பங்க பஞ்சானன பராக்கிரமா வெங்கடநாதாயம் விஜயதா தீரன்றுதோப்பல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியும் வாழ்வாங்கு வானேர போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ராமானுஜதயா பாத்ரம் ஞான வைராக்யபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்ததேசிகம். கவிதார்க்கிகசிம்ஹாய கல்யாணகுணசாலினே श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.